At 14, your mom decides to take you to an audition.
Right.
This is for Lean On Me.
Right. Actually, it came out when I was 14, so I had to be about 13.
13.
I was 13. They read in the newspaper. My stepfather that just recently passed, Tuskegee Airman, Joel F. Miller.
Your dad was one of the Tuskegee
Yeah, my
Airmen?
stepfather was, yes.
Oh, your stepdad, wow.
Yeah, he just passed less than a month ago. But thanks to him, that he seen they was having an open call audition for Lean On Me. And they was looking for real street kids that never had been to acting school, never had any kind of real, training. They just wanted real raw talent because they was, imitating the school. So they wanted to, get that real raw. So he mentioned to my mom that, I think we should take Jermaine over here for this. They looking for some real street kids having trouble in school. If that don't defy him, I don't know what does. So she came to me and, told me like, oh, well, get your stuff together. We're going to go over here to New York for this audition. I didn't hear nothing but go to New York. So it was like, all right, cool. We going to New York. I'm about to get a hot dog, all of that. And then she told me, it was for an open call audition. I go over there and I tell my mom, I was like, look, Mom, I don't want to stand in this line. There's so many people. Like the line was around one of these New York blocks like twice, And I said, Mom, I don't. She was like, well, you got to, show some appreciation. He took his time out to bring you over here. This is my stepdad at the time. You know what I'm saying? I'm a youngster. So, she's teaching me, in the same way how to, also be responsible and respectful for, things that people do for you. So, by this time, I stay in line listening to this mumbo jumbo. I'm like, man, this is some straight bullshit, And the writer came to me, Michael Schiffer, man. Wound up being a real cool friend of mine. Michael Schiffer, the writer, he also wrote Colors. Came up to me and asked me what would I do if Joe Clark caught me in the hallway, and I was supposed to be in class. I told him the same thing that was on the script, but I hadn't seen the script. But it's the same shit I say in school all the time. So he wrote Sam's on a piece of paper and sent me to the front of the line. And from that point on, I did like 7 auditions. They even had me go sit with an acting coach before I went to, the auditions or whatever. And that was it. That turned my life around.
You got the role.
Yes.
And Morgan Freeman was in the movie. He played the main character.
Yeah, Joe Clark.
Joe Clark,
yeah.
Which was actually based on an actual teacher.
Right, a principal, yeah.
A principal in what school was it in?
Eastside High School, Paterson, New Jersey.
Paterson, New Jersey. Okay, so it was very close to home.
Right.
Who actually, had a very rough approach to cleaning up the school that actually worked. And it made like nationwide headlines, I remember.
Yeah. Well, his approach had to match what he was approaching. You take a slingshot to go bear hunting, you're not going to be that successful. So he just basically took what he had and used it to kind of clean up and give the kids that really wanted the opportunity to get out of that situation a real good chance. You know what I'm saying? A real 100% chance.
Now, Morgan Freeman was, I guess, 98 years old when he did that movie with you back then.
He's
been
around
about
forever, right?
130 now.
Morgan's been around forever. I remember being a kid watching him on the electric company. He seemed like he was an old dude then.
He was never young.
Right.
I don't think. He was just born an old man, I think.
It was, Morgan, God bless him, man. Morgan had a lot to do with how my character came off in that movie, because John Alveston, the director, he got Morgan together with myself and said, Morgan, I want you to spend more time, with Jermaine and, kind of like go over the lines with him so you guys can kind of build some kind of chemistry. Not too familiar because it's a principal and a student, so Morgan did a great job of that because every time it was lunchtime, I was in his trailer, with my lunch, and we were eating lunch and going over lines and going over different techniques. So Morgan, I never forget that, never.
Well, he ended up winning an Oscar
Yeah.
for a Best Supporting Actor in $1 Million Baby.
Yep.
He was also in Shawshank Redemption.
Yes.
Just so many classic films under his belt. Just an incredible actor.
Right.
What was it like really working with someone? I mean, because he was great back then.
Right.
He was always great.
Right.
Honestly, Morgan
Right.
Freeman. Like, what was it like working with someone of that caliber, with you being still in high school, I guess, no acting experience, like really fresh off the block in this kind of environment?
Well, it didn't hit me because even when I went over for the audition, I'm thinking I'm going for a play, or something like that. But Morgan, man, it was right after he did Street Smart. So he had the hair going with the little gray. And he was very intimidating as far as just, looking at and as a kid. But, once it, set into my head that this is not going to go no further than acting. Like, he's just only going to act, until the point to where, you won't get hurt and you don't have nothing to fear. So when it came to that part, it was something. But far as with the acting, it didn't dawn on me, like, the level of people that I was working with and what I was doing. You give me some lines, I got in front of the camera and I did it. I did it as many times as John needed us to do it. So far as being intimidated, I mean, you had Robert Guillaume on the set. Like, I was more intimidated with Robert Guillaume because I watched him on Benson all the time. Like, Morgan Freeman wasn't on Electric Company every time I watched it. But Robert Guillaume was on Benson every day.
Yeah.
And so I was more so, like, oh man, that's Robert Guillaume. And at the time we was filming, I thought Robert, like, I looked at Robert like the man. Morgan, okay, you just look scary, but you ain't gonna do nothing to me. I'm still a kid, in mind. But yeah, it wasn't to the point to where I was super, intimidated, but I knew that I done strung these people along this far. I gotta deliver, cause I never knew I was an actor. So I'm thinking I'm getting over on them. You know what I mean? Hey man, they really think I can act. They put me with actors. Oh man, just let me know when the check clear. That was my attitude. Like, I'm fooling Hollywood.
Well, you actually played a crack addict in
Yes.
that movie. I remember he had you like on the roof. It was like, because you're smoking crack.
Right. You smoke crack, don't you, boy? You want to jump? If you jump, I suggest you do it expeditiously. And it's funny because the character actually called for a skinny guy, and who I was going up against was a skinny guy. What got me the role, what John and Norman Twain, rest the dead, mentioned to me after we did the movie, like, man, look, man, you got this role because not so much of your look and fit in the description of a crackhead. That was the biggest part of the role until we met you. Then that kind of was minute. Now this character that we can form a relationship with Joe Clark and have these two, and then the way I cried. It was no act. They knew I didn't have acting skills, so the tears was natural. You know what I'm saying? So they was like, he's got it. To the point to where Norman Twain, Michael Schiffer, and also the writer, the music director, they started a management company called Fairshot, and they took myself, Karen White, and Riff. I think they were behind Riff's getting a record deal and everything, and Karen White going on to have a promising career as well. So yeah, it was a great time. Great opportunity.